Hello, this is Em from Taiwan. Today we are going to make heart shaker card. First, we are going to need nesting die set. I'm using heart-shaped dies here. Of course, you can use any shape you want. I'm taking away the two biggest dies here since I'm not using them in the project today. Now I'm lining up the four hearts on a piece of magnetic paper. The magnetic paper is just to help me to line up the dies easier. It's okay if you don't have it. You can just carefully line it up on your work surface and be careful not to shift it. Note that the cutting edge is down at this point. Now I'm using washi tape to secure the dies together as a set. You can also use micropore tape to do this. You don't really need to use a lot of tape here. Just enough to hold the dies in place is fine. This step will help us to have even space in between die cuts. Once we're done, it will be easy to pick it up as one die. I'm picking up the dies and carefully not to shift any of it out of its position. And I'm going to secure the dies once again by pressing down a bit. I prepared two shades of purple cardstock here, and I'm taking out one of the darker shades out. Drawing a line in the middle will help us to position the heart dies on the center of our paper. That will become where our shaker window is. You don't need to do this if you would like your shaker window be off the side. Now let's take out our die cut machine. A die cut machine is something that will cut and emboss paper. You put paper with dies or embossing folder in with the right plates and send it through the machine. It will cut or emboss for you. Most die cut machines can cut through paper, felt, or foam. For those who are not familiar with die cut machine, I promise I'll do another video about it soon. You can see that I'm just sending the right plate along with the paper and dies in by turning the wrench. And it will cut the shape for me. Sorry I'm a bit off the camera here, but you get the idea. Every die cut machine is different and has different plates. Just remember, never force anything to go through or you might damage your machine. Now I'm lining up the lighter color paper with the one I just die cut. Here is a trick I learned from Jennifer McGuire's YouTube channel. I pop the die back into its negative place like a puzzle piece. I remove the largest die while holding the others in place, and I also remove the darker piece of paper. Send it through the machine. Then you will have the second die cut perfectly spaced and lined up in our desired position. And I'm just repeating the process for the rest of the cardstock we prepared. Let's talk a little bit about Jennifer McGuire now. She's a very famous card craft YouTuber from the United States. I have learned a lot from her videos. I don't know her in person, but I do have her permission to share her techniques in my videos with you and to the audience from the other side of the earth. I'll have her channel links below in my video descriptions. Here, I felt like I accidentally shifted the last die, so I'm bringing back the paper to make sure it positioned it where I want it. Now I'm using a scoreboard to help me to score my note card base. The size of the paper is about 4 1/8 and 11 inches, which will make us a 4 and 5.5 card. It's not a standard US 4 1/4 by 5.5 card. But in Taiwan, we don't really use inches, so the size I have is easier for me to fit in the standard size paper I can get here. Now I'm just erasing the line we drew on the first die cut piece. And now it's time to put them together. I'm using a tape runner here. It's not something often seen in the market in Taiwan yet, but you can find them sometimes in the art supply stores. Because the biggest window will be our shaker window, so in order to make that, I prepare a piece of acetate to adhere it onto the piece we just put adhesive on. Tape runner is very handy to use, but it doesn't really work well on acetate. That's why I'm using regular double-sided tape here. Of course, you can use any other type of adhesive you like. But you will want to make sure to use a strong adhesive since we are making a shaker card. The card will need to be strong enough to hold the weight of all the sequins. We don't want it to be falling apart and the sequins be flying around. Here I'm using a tonic piercing tool to help me to peel off the release paper of the double-sided tape. And repeat the process for all of our die-cut pieces. You can see I'm using the tape runner again. By the way, you want to make sure the adhesive are put securely around all the die-cut windows, so the sequins won't get caught in between paper. I prepared some colorful sequins here. Before putting in the sequins, I'm using the tape runner to put on the last layer of adhesive. If you put the adhesive on after you put out the sequins in, it will become uneven and harder to do. I'm using some clear sequins and some blue and purple ones today. You can choose any color you like. And I'm adhering it onto the note card. Now I'm using some alphabet dice to spell out love here. I'm carefully positioning it onto the card itself, and then I can pick it up with an acrylic blocks here. Sorry I'm off the camera again, but here I'm inking up the stamps with the black ink. Stamp it onto the card, and I'm going to clear emboss the sentiment. Have my heat gun good and hot and burn it to the paper. You can see the color is changing. See how the sequins are still able to move inside the shaker window? And this is it. I'm Em from Taiwan. Thank you and hope to see you again.